6:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Katharine Pereira and read by Laoni Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The President says officers should go to the people to achieve the target of development. The Gama Samaka Pilisandarak program held in Dharaniyagala. Another 1,000 COVID patients have recovered. Adherence to health guidelines has been mandated. 10,000 graduate trainees are to be recruited. In news overseas, internet shut down as crowds protest against military in Myanmar. Those are the headlines, and now more to the details of the local news. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that nationalism cannot be protected without a proper economic plan for development of the country. He emphasized that the national leadership would be lost if a proper local economic policies and process was not implemented. The President said that Gama Samagapile Sandarak program was launched to provide solutions to the problems of rural communities and to take the development to the villages. He also said that the present government has given priority in its economic plan for agriculture. Therefore, he said, utmost measures will be taken in this regard and we must go to the people to achieve the development target. He made these remarks at the Gama Samagapile Sandarak program held at the Kagala, Dharaniyagala Dikkalla Kanda Vidyalaya. People in the village said that solutions were given for many of their problems and they appreciated the visit of the state leader to their village. The President advised the relevant authorities to provide speedy solutions for the problems of the village people. The Ministry of Health says that another 1,133 more patients who were infected with COVID-19 have recovered and were discharged from the medical care by this morning. This brings the total number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country to 62,594. 735 COVID cases have been identified from the country as of today. 158 cases were reported from the Colombo district, 105 from Badulla, and 94 from the Kandy district. The epidemiology unit says 67,850 positive cases of coronavirus have been reported in Sri Lanka so far. As per data, 4,913 of them are currently under medical care. Sri Lanka's death toll from the virus outbreak, meanwhile, stands at 343. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And we continue with more local news. The head trained nurse officer of the National Hospital, Pushpa Ramya Soisa, says that the spread of COVID-19 can be prevented by adhering to the health guidelines. She said attention should be focused to enhance the immunity level. She also pointed out that the public should strictly follow the health guidelines. New students will be enrolled for the National Teaching College's courses. They will be enrolled as per the results of the GC Advanced Level Examination in the year 2018 for the year 2020. The number of courses is 50 and 4,253 students will be selected. The relevant interviews will commence from the 15th of this month. More than 10,000 trainee graduates will be recruited. Minister Janaka Bandara Thenokon said that they will be deployed for the state service before the end of this year. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The President says officers should go to the people to achieve the target of development. The Gama Samagapili Sandarak program held in Dharaniyagala. Another 1,000 COVID patients have recovered. Adherence to health guidelines has been mandated. 10,000 training graduates are to be recruited. And that was the local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The main news story for this evening, 11 new positive cases of COVID-19 have been identified from the prisons cluster today. The Department of Prisons said 4 prison officials and 7 inmates are among the newly identified patients. As per reports, the prisons cluster registered a total of 4,600 COVID-19 infections since the outbreak of the virus. However, 4,364 of them have returned to health. The Prisons Department further stated that 10 inmates in total have fallen victim to the virus infection. Meanwhile, 9 prison officials and 215 inmates are currently under medical care at selected hospitals and treatment centers. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And in Vashla this evening, the Water Supply and Drainage Board says an 18-hour water cut will be effective in several areas in Vattala, commencing from 4 p.m. on the 9th of this month. The water supply will be suspended to the areas of Helkitha, Palliyavatta, Valiyamanupara, Balagala, Galagahaduwa, Mardanapara, Alakanda and Handala. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines of the world news. Internet shut down as crowds protest against military in Myanmar. US President pushes $1.9 trillion bill without Republican support. Governors in Japan discuss coronavirus measures. Those were the headlines, and now we move on to the details of the world news. Myanmar's military rulers have shut down the country's internet as thousands of people joined the largest rally yet against Monday's coup. A near-total internet blackout is in effect, with connectivity falling to 16% of ordinary levels, said the monitoring group NetBlock's Internet Observatory. In the main city, Yangon, crowds chanted, "Military dictator, fail, fail, democracy, win, win." Police with riot shields have blocked the main roads into the city centre. The internet shutdown happened hours after the military had blocked the access to Twitter and Instagram to stop from people mobilising for protests. Facebook has been banned a day earlier. US President Joe Biden is forging ahead with plans to ram through a $1.9 trillion relief bill without Republican support after disappointing jobs data. Despite an Obama-era economist warning the stimulus package may be too big, Mr. Biden vowed to act fast. The new president's fellow Democrats run Congress and plan to pass the final bill using budget maneuver. Mr. Biden's speech is being seen by the U.S. media as a shift in tone after he entered office pledging bipartisanship. Governors in Japan met online on Saturday following the extension of the coronavirus state of emergency. Some suggested that the declaration should be lifted in phases. The central government has extended its state of emergency until the 7th of March in 10 prefectures, including Tokyo, Osaka and Kanagawa. Kanagawa Governor Kuraijawo Yuji said the revised coronavirus special measures law to take effect next week should be applied cautiously. He asked the central government to provide guidance on the orders and penalties stipulated. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. Internet shutdown as crowds protest against military in Myanmar. US President pushes $1.9 trillion bill without Republican support. Governors in Japan discuss coronavirus measures. And that was the world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In development news, State Minister Indika Anuruddha says that 14,000 houses are to be constructed this year. 7 billion rupees has been allocated for this purpose. The project will be initiated under the Government Nivasak Development Program. He said 10,000 houses have been constructed last year. Therefore, construction work of 4,000 houses is underway. From that, we move on to sports news. Today is the second day of the first test match played between England and India in Chennai. At the close of day, the English team had scored 555 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in their first innings. That was the sports news. business news coming up.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
In business news, Sri Lanka, for the first time in its history, has been able to save over $300 million from not importing milk powder from overseas in the year 2020. This is a major plus point achieved due to COVID-19 pandemic. Last year, Sri Lanka only imported milk in limited volume, according to the latest customs data. Chairman Palwatha Dairies, Arya Sila Vikramanayaka, said that even though COVID-19 has had many negative factors both for humanity and the economy, it has resulted in taking Sri Lanka towards self-sufficiency in milk sooner than expected. He assured that there will not be any milk powder imports for the year 2022. That was the business news, and economic news follows.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News. Courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
In economic news, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka and HSBC Securities and Capital Markets India both predict that Sri Lanka will begin positive economic growth from the year 2021 onwards. The growth, however, might be constrained by the debt dynamics of the country and investor sentiment. The director of the Economic Research Unit of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Chandranath Amarasekara, said that Sri Lanka experienced an unexpected growth in remittances last December. That is economic news, and with the report to conclude.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
It will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And finally, the weather report. The Met Department says a few showers will occur in the Uva and eastern provinces and in the Mathale and Noora Eliya districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in the Sabaragamu province and in the Galle, Mathura and Kalthara districts after 2 p.m. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Misty condition can be expected in the central, Sabaragamu and Nuwa provinces during the morning hours. And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. The President says officers should go to the people to achieve the target of development. The Gama Samaga Pilisandara program held in Dharanigala. Another 1,000 COVID patients have recovered. Adherence to health guidelines has been mandated. 10,000 training graduates are to be recruited. And in news overseas, internet shut down as crowds protest against military in Myanmar. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. And now it's back to your Saturday evening host today, who is sitting in. That is Heshma, to keep you entertained.